Welcome to the Training Portal podcast, where we delve into the heart of growth and transformation, both personal and professional. I'm your host, Melissa Mostert, and every fortnight, I'll be sharing a meaningful conversation over coffee with industry leaders, innovators, and changemakers who are helping to shape the future of South Africa. In each episode, we'll uncover stories of passion and impact, stories that inspire and challenge us to think differently about development, innovation, and community upliftment. The Training Portal podcast is your source of knowledge and insight, guiding you through the ever-evolving landscape of development in South Africa. Joining us today on the Training Portal podcast is Gerald Heystek, a prominent figure in the tech and telecom industry, currently part of the leadership at FASTR, a company making significant strides in fibre infrastructure across South Africa. With a deep-rooted passion for innovation and connectivity, Gerald's journey to FASTR has been shaped by a career filled with milestone achievements. Today, we will explore his background, what led him to FASTR, and gain better insights into the fibre industry's future. From FASTR's unique offerings such as FASTR Rewards to its focus on empowering disadvantaged communities, Gerald will share how FASTR is contributing to South Africa's digital future and the evolving data landscape. Gerald, could you share a bit more about your background specifically?
I think start maybe where I grew up, small town, western area in the West Rand of Gauteng, mining town.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, for those that don't know, it's close to Krugersdorp and Randfontein. And well, it was interesting. And then I started working in the mining industry, specifically in finance. So COVID kind of happened and that kind of took the wheels off the car a bit for the company. Went from having like 5-6 different clients to 0 overnight. And then it started to open up. Did the study for a company, and I gave them the report, and they said, don't I want to join them full time in an executive position, and that's kind of where we are now, and that was about 4 years ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So not that long, actually.
Yeah, so I only recently, 4 years ago, really got into the telecoms industry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what are some of the significant milestones that have brought you to where you are today, especially with FASTR?
I think when it comes to what inspires me, it was my journey is, I've been very fortunate where I've been reasonably successful all the time. But there's 3 things for me that's important. Firstly, I need to enjoy what I do. Yes. And in the mining industry, I always enjoyed what I do. And with the consulting also, I enjoyed what I do. Then, I always wanted to be successful. I have this drive that really pushes me. I can't just stagnate and sit down and just be quiet and happy with what I have. I've got these like 3-year cycles in my life where I have to renew myself.
Have to keep moving.
Yeah, and then the third thing that was lacking prior to really starting FASTR was I want to make a difference. Call it lower income, informal communities. There's a lot of problems when it comes to cash, and how do you bring that into the digital environment? That's one of the challenges we have.
And what are some of the key services that FASTR provides?
So the key services really is, call it traditional ISP with some of the FNOs in South Africa. We'll all know it. It's basically the people that switches the lights on when it comes to internet. That last person that you talk to when you order your internet, and then the first one that you call when it gives you problems. And then we've got a rewards platform that actually subsidizes the cost of internet. But I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit more. And then I think what's also important is this whole thing started as part of a group of companies that was founded in 2007. Okay. And they've done very well and been market leaders in the telecoms construction game, if I can call it that. And so there's kind of been the natural progression. After that, we still do it through a different company where we actually design networks and build networks and all of those things. And so it really makes it easy for us to provide the whole turnkey solution at the end of the day.
And what drew you to FASTR in particular?
I think the solution of a major problem that we have, it really started in about April 2021. Mm-hmm. So I was new, like I said, to the telecoms industry. I joined just about at the end of 2020. I asked myself a couple of different questions because I saw the market was going one way and it was down. What we call the leafy suburbs, most of them have been connected. That's like, you know, the Durbanvilles of the area, or the Sandtons, or Pretoria East. Everyone has fibre, and well, most people had fibre at that point in time, and there was only these little pockets that were still available to be connected. So I saw the market that there was going to be a decline in revenue for us in terms of the business model that we had at that point in time, and we were already talking about the next 11 million homes needing to be connected. So at that point, I started asking myself two questions. How do we change the trajectory of where we're going with the industry and stopping it from dying, specifically for us? And also, how can I make a difference in the lives of people and you know, the industry as a whole? And that's really where it started. I remember when we it's such a cliche, but we were sitting actually in a garage. We were our offices at that point in time, myself and the co-founder, Gerald, we were sitting opposite each other, and the walls were just like whiteboards, and we would just write all of these ideas down, and we used to call this the big idea way back when, and change the name at some point to FTTC, which stands for not fiber to the cabinet, as it would be known in the industry, but fiber to the community. People were referring to the next 11 million homes and the projects as fiber to the shack. I found that terminology quite distasteful, to be honest. I believe that so these communities are quite diverse, and you've got people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, and I honestly believe that everyone needs a chance, regardless of their background, regardless of where they come from, what they believe, and therefore I just felt we needed to call it FTTC. So that's really where it all started, and then it kind of progressed from there. Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so I want to delve a bit more into FASTR, and with FASTR, there's a lot of different pillars that encompasses FASTR, such as FASTR Connect and FASTR Rewards, is what you mentioned earlier, and FASTR Cash. Could you give us a brief overview of these different pillars?
Yeah, I think before I do that, maybe I should give you a little bit of detail about the challenges that we face, because it's important for the context of why there's these three different pillars. So when building networks in lower income areas, I'm sure you'll understand that networks, to build infrastructure, to put things in the ground, to put up equipment, costs quite a bit of money, and you need considerable investment to actually do that. Now, when investment is involved, there's obviously a return on investment that investors need to get. Now, at that point, when we started this thing, we had a very good idea of exactly what we'll need to build in terms of a network, what technologies we'll need to utilize, what deployment methodologies we'll need to utilize. But there was one question that was really tough to solve, and it was affordability, because we're dealing with really low income communities, people that cannot really afford to pay for the internet. And it brings up two different things about internet in abundance and internet connectivity that we'll chat a little bit about later on. But so the challenge was then, if the clients cannot essentially afford to pay for the internet, how do we build these networks, and at what price point do we need to sell these packages to give the ROI? And from that point, we actually then started asking a question: if they can't afford it, someone else needs to pay for it. And then the next question was, if someone else needs to pay for it, how do we get that right?
That person to pay for it.
So that's stumped me for quite a while. And then I started looking at social media companies, and I started looking at video service companies that we all use for free. And then it kind of hit me that we could use these types of solutions and actually get someone else to pay for it if we kind of leverage from those types of things. And then, but getting back to your original question, three main pillars: FASTR Connect, FASTR Rewards, and FASTR Cash. So we touched on FASTR Connect a little bit, but it is essentially our connectivity arm that acts as an ISP. So then we go to FASTR Rewards, which is a rewards platform. The best way I think I can explain what FASTR Rewards does is by using an example.
Okay.
So let's say we all buy groceries. Okay, so let's say you want to buy 500 rand worth of groceries from Checkers or Boxer or wherever, you would log into our platform. You would buy a voucher for the 500 Rand. You would then get 500 Rand's worth of value for that voucher. But what we do different is we then give you cashback of somewhere between 1 and 15%, depending on the structure of the deal. Okay. So you would get 500 Rand's worth of value of the voucher, and then we would put into what we call a FASTR cash wallet the cashback.
That 1 to 15%?
1 to 15%, exactly. Okay. So you would take your voucher and go buy groceries and pay for it with the voucher. But then you're left with more value.
Because you're getting money back.
100%. So then we take that 15% or 10% or 1% or whatever it is, what the deal is, and we ring fence it. And that cashback can then be used to pay either fully or partially subsidize your internet connectivity.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that money you're getting back, you can essentially put towards connecting.
100%. And that's the whole premise about it. And we when we started this thing, I was quite adamant that we shouldn't try to change people's spending behavior. If you want to go to a gambling site, you go to a gambling site. We'll give you your money, your cash back for that site. If you want to go to Spa or Spa Liquor or wherever, and you want to go buy yourself some alcohol to have a good time, you go do that. We're not in the business of changing people's behavior and influencing their life choices. We're really about bringing connectivity to the people, essentially. So, and then we touched a little bit on FASTR cash. So I need to explain something when it comes to FASTR cash. When I start talking about digital cash, there's a difference between digital cash and digital currency. We're not trying to create a digital currency, something like Bitcoin.
Yes.
We are trying to emulate the functions and features that physical cash have through being innovative. What that means is, again, so imagine you have your wallet in your hand and you take physical cash out of your wallet and you pay for something at a spaza shop, or you pay for something maybe to fill up your tank with petrol or diesel or whatever. It needs to be that simple. So when it comes to digitizing cash, it's taking that functionality, that ease of use, and it shouldn't cost you a lot of money, because when it comes to cash, it's free of service charges.
Okay.
And when you start using digital money in terms of cards and EFTs, there's fees that go with it.
Transaction fees.
100%. And that degrades the value of money over time. So if you take 5 Rand and there's a 1% fee on the 5 Rand, all of a sudden it's only worth 4.95. And then the next guy that spends the 4.95, and 10, 20, 30 transactions later, that 5 Rand's totally depleted. And that's the problem. The other problem that we have, why we need to create this is the communities that we serve actually are almost 100% cash-based. I think if you look at a bank at month end, you'll see these endless lines of people standing there
wanting to withdraw money.
100%. And the reason people do that is because of distrust, first of all, of financial institution. That's come over years and years of their personal experience with it. And it's things like garnishee orders. It's things like debit orders. When people don't have a lot of money, these are the things that really hurt them when it comes to it. So they take the money out of the bank and they put it in their pocket. We want them to, rather than putting it into their pocket, put it into our digital form of cash and then use that to transact. But it comes with a whole host of different challenges of integrations and how do we make it as simple as possible. And that's essentially the 3 pillars. Yeah.
Before we continue with the rest of the interview, here's a quick look at how Training Portal empowers individuals and businesses through skills development. At Training Portal, we are proud to be a leader in skills development consulting and a multi-accredited training academy, committed to solving your unique challenges through innovative and cost-effective solutions. Whether you are looking to enhance your team's skills, comply with industry regulations, or maximize your BEE scores, our extensive range of over 300 short courses and more than 30 fully accredited qualifications cover all your needs. From agriculture to information technology, our CETA and QCTO accredited qualifications are designed to provide comprehensive learning experiences. We tailor our training programs to fit your specific requirements, ensuring maximum benefits within your available resources. Our innovative learning platform allows for flexible, self-paced study, available both on-site at your premises and through our Training Portal campuses all across South Africa. With Training Portal, you achieve more than your training outcomes. You gain a partner who stands by you from the initial consultation through to the continuous management of your training program. Now let's get back into the episode. That's quite an interesting initiative, but from what I've heard, so FASTR is focusing quite a lot on fiber and fiber technologies rather than things like Wi-Fi and satellite. What made fiber the core of your strategy?
Yeah, before we maybe get to why specifically fiber, there's two things that I need to explain. Mm-hmm. The first is the difference between connectivity or internet in abundance and then internet connectivity, or call it just, connectivity. Mm-hmm. Okay. So internet in abundance is having uncapped access to the internet, to information at a reasonable fee. Mm-hmm. That's something that fiber gives you. Mobile connectivity tends to be expensive. Some places the network connectivity is good, some places it's bad. So we need to actually compare the cost of the two, but it's quite difficult because mobile connectivity is actually a data transference-based model where you pay for data. So you would buy a couple of gigs of data and you would pay for that and you use it up and, you have to buy again. Where fiber and the way that we do it is time-based.
Okay.
So to compare now time-based cost to a data transference cost is quite difficult. So what I've done is an average user on our network uses about 200 gigabytes a month.
Okay, that's not bad.
Now, if you look at the average usage of a mobile data connectivity user, that's between 3 and 5 gigabits a month. Now, if you look at the cost that we bring it in, which is 249 Rand for uncapped fiber package, that same data usage that we talk about, the 200 gigs per month, on a mobile connectivity, that would cost you in the region of about 2 grand to 3 grand.
Yeah, it's quite expensive.
Very expensive, especially if we start looking at the market which we are trying to serve. Mm-hmm. Then, to answer the other question, we need to understand the power of internet in abundance. So let's do it this way. Let me ask you, what's something that you've never done that maybe you would have liked to do?
Skydiving. Does that count?
Okay, skydiving, I don't know if it works well for the example. It's going to be a little bit difficult for me to do. Let me give you an example. So let's say, do you know how to change the brakes on a car?
Absolutely not. I don't even know how to change a tire.
Okay, so let's take you and we clone you. Okay, so there's two people exactly the same upbringing, bringing exactly the same history, the knowledge, intelligence, everything's the same. The only difference is one of you I give uncapped access to information through the internet, and the other one I don't. And I give you the same task to say, change the brakes on this car. Mm. So two things are going to happen, different things to these people. The version of you that's got access to the information is going to be able to Google. You're going to have to watch tutorials. You're going to have all the information at your fingertips, and you'll probably struggle a little bit, because you might not know all the tools and where to start. But essentially, you'll get it right. Exactly. A lot quicker than the other person. The other person will be dead in the water. Mm. Don't know where to start. You'll have to go ask your auntie or an uncle, and remember, you don't have a phone, so you can't call them. So you'll have to walk somewhere. But so,
and there's no guarantee that what information you're going to get from them is going to be useful.
100%. So let's now draw a line then between that and day-to-day life. If an individual that has access to the internet, to information, to Google, to find solutions, wants to apply for a job, it starts with a CV. It starts with spell checking. It starts with looking for formats. It starts with preparations for interviews. A person that does not have access to that information, to the internet, cannot prepare. Mm-hmm. They will be perceived as lazy, as uneducated, possibly less intelligent. Mm. And I think when I talk about this, you'll start to realize that that's a problem that we have in South Africa, that people from previously disadvantaged communities don't have the opportunities because they don't have connectivity. If you give someone access to information, they'll be able to make a difference in life. So yeah, they will have to have the will to do it still, but it gives everyone a better chance. So when it comes to fiber, why are we choosing fiber? It's exactly because of the price point where we can provide that service to the client specifically and give that internet in abundance. And there's, I think, a little bit of a misconception about what Wi-Fi is. I think you've got these point-to-point solutions, which is basically satellite-to-satellite type of solutions. But Wi-Fi you do use when you've got a fiber network. It's that
right.
Not even the last mile, the last 10 or 20 meters where you actually connect your phone or those type of things. So Wi-Fi is prevalent. Satellite is a whole different ball game. But yeah, maybe we can discuss that a little bit later.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So fiber's landscape in South Africa, how is it currently looking? I know you said that a lot of areas already have fiber and you're looking to get those little areas still.
So about the numbers differ where you look at in terms of where the data comes from, but we're somewhere between 4.2 million and 5 million homes that have been passed with fiber connectivity. So when I say passed, there's a difference between connected and passed. Passed basically where it's past the house. Okay. And it's call it internet ready. You might see a lot of things when you look at a flat or something, or say it's internet ready. The amount of users physically taking up that is in the region of about 2 million people. So not that many. So only 2 of the fiber network operators in South Africa have been able to surpass the 40% uptake number. So it's not much. So it's quite difficult. And now there's we estimate another 11 million homes that still need to be connected. So if we look at, let's call it 5 million homes, at an average of 3 people per home, it's 15 million people that's got access to the internet. But we know we're probably sitting at 75 million people in South Africa. So a very small portion of South Africa is actually being connected to internet through fiber.
And obviously you at FASTR are wanting to increase that number. You want more people connected. What exactly is the process of installing fiber in these communities? Now,
the process is not so difficult. The actual getting I want to almost call it the license to operate in these communities is the most important thing. The first thing that we do is we reach out to formal and informal leaders in communities because we need to set up a mutually beneficial trust relationship with communities. That's the most important thing. You cannot, it's absolutely impossible to deliver these services if the community is not involved. I'm quite proud to say that I think we've, for the most part, cracked the code on this. We've been able to establish about 15 local subcontracting companies that didn't exist before we started it. We employ about 90% of our workforce comes from the exact communities that we work in.
So they already know the people that they're speaking
100%. To. And I think why this is important is we cannot leave people behind. And it's not just about that initial job creation. It's about actually then leaving the ongoing maintenance with these communities. And it's important to create the skills in the communities when it comes to it. And when we talk about the skills about that's needed to do that, it hasn't really changed. It's the same when a leafy suburb was built. You need splicers, you need people that know how a floating machine works, you need people that can operate the active equipment and how to do that. You still need all of that. It's just the demographics of the people that now need that skill that's changed. So every time we go into a community, we have to go and create those skills up front. We have to provide equipment up front. And it comes to the way that we've designed the network to be pre-connectorized as well, to remove barriers of entry for local contractors, for local people. And I think that's really the success. The rest of it's easy. We survey, we get our permits, our wayleaves, we dig where we need to dig, put in the fiber into the ground, do an aerial network and connect the homes. That's really the easy part because we've been doing it for so long. It's really the community and the building of that trust relationship that's mutually beneficial. It's very important that it is beneficial to the community as well. We need to say what we're going to do and we need to do what we're going to say, and we need to be transparent, and that goes for both parties. Yeah.
And is there another way other than physically getting involved in those contractors who are putting in the fiber? Is there other ways in which community members can get involved?
I think when it comes to actually what fiber or connectivity in abundance brings to the community. I won't cite the exact study and the numbers, but if you look at areas like Mitchell's Plain, the difference that connectivity and the fiber networks have brought to that area is there's been a massive change. And the opportunities that come with it is where the technology really shines. It's where the connectivity really shines. And yes, we've got that initial giving a job and giving someone a little bit of money, and then you've got a small portion of the people that get involved in the maintenance. But then it's endless. And when we talk about education, when we talk about skills development, everything you need when it comes to a digital age is based on connectivity.
Exactly.
And then we really need to give these community their digital future back into their hands. And I think that's where a lot of people can get involved in that. We're really just the catalyst. We start the process, but it's then up to
them to continue.
Yeah,
the
100%. Yeah.
So where are you guys currently focusing in terms of installing fiber, and where are you looking to install in the upcoming years?
So I need to be careful because people want to be connected. Currently, where we're working, and we've been able to connect. When I say connect, it's different than a home pass. Maybe I should explain that a little bit. You would pass a home, and then you would place an order, and then after you've placed an order and paid some money, someone would come and actually then do that last 100 or 50 or 20 meters and install the fiber into your house. Now, what we do is we build the network and passing the homes, mostly through aerial deployment methodologies, but then we also connect the house and place an ONT in all of them. So we've connected about 28,000 homes in Cape Town already.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's a tip of the iceberg of what we need to do, but we're quite proud of it because we've done it in a very short period of time. And then it's Capricorn, Vrygrond, Philippi, which was quite a challenge, but we got that right. And then Masiphumelele in the Fish Hoek side. It's currently where we are. We're basically done with those projects. So we are looking to expand further into the Western Cape, specifically a portion of Delft that hasn't been covered yet. And then also we're looking to go to an area called Saulsville in Gauteng. It's basically Pretoria West, next to Atteridgeville.
So you are looking at other parts of South Africa, not just the Western Cape.
Yeah, so those are just the initial ones. We've got call it a plan of around about 500,000 homes that we need to get to and want to get to in the next 24 to 36 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So obviously empowering disadvantaged communities and individuals remains quite a significant topic in South Africa. How is FASTR contributing to solving these challenges associated with, for example, BEE, and ensuring that these historically disadvantaged communities benefit from your initiatives?
We thought, okay, but how can we make a difference in this? And we've created, through our channel partners, the opportunity for companies to actually spend their BE funds with us. And what we do with those funds is we actually, through the ambit of education, and you need connectivity, like I mentioned earlier, for education, actually give individuals and families access to internet for free. We subsidize that.
Okay.
And so we're able to pinpoint exactly the person, his name, surname, ID number, that guy, the kids in that family that get that benefit. And that's how we are aiming to actually make sure that the people that need it most benefit.
Are getting it. So what are some of the career opportunities available within the fiber industry or broader internet industry for younger people looking to enter this field?
I think, again, like I said earlier, there's a whole host of things. The sky's the limit. I think technologies that we're seeing coming out that's quite interesting is AI.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
In terms of computer software, coding, those types of things. But really, if you think about it, anything e-commerce, it gives you the opportunity to actually start doing drop shipping, which you won't have. And that's something that's quite simple. If you look at Shopify and all of these things, the blueprints are there. You can do it quite easily. It also gives you the opportunity to learn new skills. I'm going to use a very simple example, like maybe someone wants to open a bakery. It gives you the tools to actually learn how to do it, how to then market yourself to not only your immediate community around you, but also a wider community, be able to understand what the needs are outside of there. So it's really endless. And to say, in the fiber industry, I think It's difficult. There's a lot of skills available. Like I said, we try to create those skills in the communities we have, but the result of what we leave behind and what internet connectivity brings is absolutely endless. You can do whatever you want because now you've got access to information. You've got a way to communicate with people. So yeah, I would say endless. You can choose what you want to do.
Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure there are some listeners who are going to be interested in learning more about FASTR and the services you provide. Where can they go to learn more?
We're quite active on social media. We predominantly using Facebook and LinkedIn at this point in time. So we've got a Facebook page, we've got an Instagram page, we've got a Twitter page. But they're welcome to go to our website, which is www.faster.co.za, by the way, spelled FASTR, not FASTER. Or they can reach out to me directly through my LinkedIn channel. You can go and visit FASTR Rewards.co.za, which is our rewards platform. Go and register, have a play around with it and see what's on there. Yeah, I think that would be the best way. Just reach out to me on my LinkedIn profile.
Fantastic. We will definitely be adding all these links to the bio of the podcast. So if anyone is interested in getting involved, then they can reach out. But Gerald, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I'm pretty sure we'll have you on again because this is such an interesting initiative that I am willing to bet a lot of people want to learn more as FASTR develops. But thank you for making the time to sit and speak to me today.
Thank you for having me, and would love to come back. We've really touched the tip of the iceberg.
I know we have. There's so much more we could go into.
Yeah. Okay, but thank you very much for the opportunity, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. If you liked today's episode, please consider subscribing to our channel where you are watching or listening to today's podcast. Next time on the Training Portal podcast.
I think the whole BE landscape, and for good reason, is moving away from the tick box approach to BE, where you just try and do the absolute minimum and comply and keep the regulators happy. I think it's moving away from that towards a more, let's call it substance over form, sort of something that makes a genuine impact in the lives.
Which is the most important thing. It's why this was created.
Exactly. That's the reason for this whole policy, to make a meaningful impact, to get the whole country involved, not only 5% from an economic perspective. And I think that is important going forward.